What's going on, everyone? So, today is DeAndre Ayton Day. Now, what I mean by that is he will officially clear waivers today. Depending on when you're watching this video, it's very possible that's already happened. Maybe we've even already gotten the announcement. But nonetheless, today's the day that hopefully, fingers crossed, we actually get some news on what's going to happen with DeAndre Ayton. And hopefully it's to the Lakers, right? I do believe he's going to Lakers. I do believe the Lakers even know he's coming to the Lakers. You could argue what's the holdup. Well, supposedly, Lakers are active right now in various trades, so they could be looking like, depending on how things shape up and how these trades go, okay, well, how are we going to structure, how are we going to go about this, right? Because you got to remember, none of these signings, none of these contracts, anything can be done and finalized until July 6th, so Lakers, depending on how things are going to shape up, they might structure things different. Right now, they're using Jake LaRavia as part of the mid-level exception. But like, what if the Lakers end up pulling off some trading, clearing off, $6 million or something like that, or decide, oh, hey, let's use that, but then we're able to dump two play. Like, who knows? There's a million things that could happen. Probably unlikely that happens, but I'm just saying, like, we don't know, right? So get through the trade part of it. Right, and then find out how do you need to structure. Right? Maybe you need to sign Ayton first, and so. Again, we'll see. We'll see how this plays out. But I'm hoping at least even if you don't sign him, it'd be nice to get the DeAndre Ayton is intends to sign with the Lakers, right? Or is planning on signing with the Lakers. Is planning on a 2 years, $16 million deal, right? Which is what I think he'll get. I think he'll probably get about $8 million a year because I think it just lines up. I believe Lakers know he's coming. I believe everybody knows he's coming, right? I think that's part of the reason why some of these other centers ended up signing elsewhere, because it was like, okay, if I could be a starter on the Lakers, it makes sense, right? Like Clint Capella. Use Clint Capella as an example. Right? If I'm Clint Capella, do I want to go to the Lakers and be a backup and make let's say $5 million a year plus pay LA tax, or do I want to go to Houston and be a backup, make $8 million a year and not have state tax? Rather do that. However, if Ayton didn't become available and it's like, oh, well, yes, I can go to Houston and make more money, but I can go to Lakers and actually start and play, 30 minutes a night. Right? That's where you see guys willing to kind of take the discount because they want to be out there on the basketball court. They want to play, hopefully, he can get a bigger contract if, him and Luka have a good relationship, right? Like all of that. So I think as soon as Ayton became available, I think everything changed and shifted. Right? I also think the acquisition or the potential acquisition of Ayton also helps the Lakers via trades. Right, because getting a lot of reports that the Lakers are talking about like guys that would probably be backups, like Nick Richards, Robert Williams III, V's Missy, right? Like these kind of guys are, they're guys that are probably best right now as the backup. But when you have DeAndre Ayton that you can go sign, well, now you can go to a team, right? Say, the Phoenix Suns, right? Phoenix might be looking at it as like, well, we want Connect, right? It's like, well, we don't need to give you, well, you don't have a center. It's like, well, DeAndre Ayton just became available, right? And even these other centers, right? Like even potential other guys. It's different when there's nobody that really makes sense on the market. It's another thing when you actually have a guy. That's why I used Clint Capella as the example in a previous video because at the time we didn't know DeAndre Ayton was available. But I talked about if the Lakers can get Clint Capella, sign him, get him on board, right? Then it's like, okay, now we have that. We're comfortable with this guy being our starter, but we'd prefer to go with your guy, right? Like we'd prefer to go the younger route. But if we can't get him at our price, well, then we're here. It's like if you don't have a center, you have zero leverage. It's like you want to come to me and you don't even have anything close to what I have. So guess what? The price is up. Today's price isn't tomorrow's price. The problem is if Ayton doesn't sign with the Lakers. Again, I believe he is. The only real threat seems to be the Indiana Pacers, but Indiana, I don't like. Ayton's agent made it very clear and abundant that hey, we want him in a winning situation, right? Well, the Lakers would be that, and not just that, beyond just the play and the money and everything like that, he needs to rebrand his image. He needs to kind of change the outer perception of him. I mean, there's already reports that why Portland waived him and stuff, and it doesn't make him look good. He needs to go to a place like the Lakers that just gives you a much brighter spotlight. Him going to Indiana, nobody's going to care. No one's going to talk about it. Nobody's going to say anything, right? You'll get the brief like, oh, yeah, he's replacing Miles Turner, blah, blah. But Indiana is not going to be in the mix for anything because their best player is gone. And the guy that would make you look the best is gone. So you're telling me he'd rather go to Indiana and kind of fade into oblivion or go to the Lakers where he's going to have the spotlight. He has the opportunity to change his image. Oh, and by the way, you're going to be playing with Luka and LeBron who are going to make you look ridiculous. Oh, and Austin Reeves now even looks for that outlet because of Luka. And you've seen Austin Reeves more kind of be aggressive in finding that outlet pass. DeAndre Ayton there's probably not a better team for DeAndre Ayton than the Lakers, if we're being honest. Just do the Lakers want DeAndre Ayton, right? Because, again, they're supposedly having conversations about various trades. Dave McMenamin talked about how, like, hey, there's a trade, or the Lakers are kind of in the middle of, is that something that they began before DeAndre Ayton? Maybe that's, part of the holdup, that they're kind of, because, like, if you're in the midst of a trade, you're not going to like, oh, well, DeAndre Ayton's available, let's back out. And then now if Ayton doesn't go through or anything, you're better off kind of seeing the trade through and then figuring it out if Ayton wants to come, right? Even if you get it like a Nick Claxton or something like that, you could argue like, hey, Nick Claxton could be our backup. It sucked to pay somebody, $27 million to be your backup. But if you would have ended up, a guy like Ayton's probably that price anyway, right? So it kind of balances itself out, right? Like usually you want your backup to be the guy, but it's like, okay, well, Claxton could be the backup and Ayton can be the starter type thing. Just kind of spitball in there in that regard. But again, hopefully we get the news on Ayton, right? I think he needs the Lakers. Lakers obviously need him. I think it's the best environment and situation for him. He's going to be playing alongside LeBron, right? Like if he was ever going to respect anybody, it'd be LeBron James, right? Like, so if LeBron can't get him right and focus, and JJ Redick and the respect that he demands and how he can be a little rough around the edges, which I like, takes no nonsense, all of that. I just, this might be Ayton's last chance. Like, honestly, like he's good enough to where he'll probably be in the league, but him being the starter and like getting the bag and all that other stuff, this might be your last chance. Because he's good, but he's not so good that teams are willing to look past the headache. Again, Portland would rather pay you $25 million than have you even just ride the bench this year. They'd rather pay you $25 million just to get you off the team rather than just taking a second round pick to acquire you in salary filler, right? Like that's usually not a good sign, right? There's certain circumstances that sometimes play out to where it's like, okay, that makes sense. Like the Damian Lillard situation, right? They didn't waive Dame because he's a locker room issue. They waived Dame because it's like, we need to get off of his salary and he's going to miss all year, right? So anyway, as always, this is a discussion, pass a question. You let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out, so we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.